on petroleum products.
Already, the Talata Mafara section in the Bakolori irrigation project has started double cropping, where rice and other crops are planted and harvested twice in a year. For the 2012-2013 farming season, over 610,000 farmers have been engaged to boost dry season farming. The Talata Mafara irrigation site, which is one of the major irrigation projects of the Ministry of Water Resources, has 23,000 hectares of land, out of which 11,000 hectares is currently being cultivated.
When you go to places like Bakolori, which has got 8,000 hectares of gravity, which is functional now, growing rice maybe 2 or 3 times in a year, and other crops, and you're employing that kind of, within that area, also about 8 persons, 8 members of the farming family per hectare. You can just imagine the number of people that you actually employ immediately and directly, right? And then the kind of income that you're generating, the kind of food production that you have, because you're talking about, for rice now, right now, is about 6 metric tons per hectare. So it's a lot of rice, and sometimes it will form into a glut.
Nowhere is the sign of the abundance from this project evident than at the Talata Mafara traditional market, where farm produce and livestock have been on the increase, making it a major point of convergence and sales of agricultural products from all over northern Nigeria. Under the Ogun-Osun River Basin, fish farming has been successfully introduced in the Oyan Dam.
We are Durante fish industry. The cage farming is being carried out on the Ogun-Osun Oyan Dam. Our stocking is 7,000 at maximum, but at minimum we can stock 5,000 or nothing. So, and let's assume we stock 7,000, and we have like average of 500 grams. Then we can get about 1.8 tons or close to 2 tons. We plan to expand. We have some space here, you can see the demarcations. These are the spots where we are still going to put more cages. So this is just for the starting. In full capacity, we can see maybe in a year, we can get up to, depending on our own, how we fast things, we can get maybe 30 tons or thereabouts. This is first in Nigeria, but I know later it's going to expand because we have more dams.
Across the 12 river basin development authorities, there are signs of change.
A lot of work is going on presently. The different river basins have large expanse of land under cultivation. We have been working on them to expand the land area under cultivation and to ensure that farmers also have access to this. For most of the time, in time past, they have only cropped once, but now efforts are being made to crop twice. Like in Bakolori, they harvested the first cropping around May, June, and they have planted the second cropping. Same for the Hadeja Valley, same also for the South Chad irrigation project. So the production, it's on the increase now, and we believe that in a short while, the desire of government to stop the importation of rice especially would be realized. Most of the river basins also have set up mills to process the rice. This is to complement what the Ministry of Agri is doing. The Ministry of Agri has already imported several rice mills to be set up in different parts of the country. This is to help in the processing of rice, because the complaint about Nigerian rice in the past has been the fact that the processing is poor. There is a lot of sand and a lot of breakage. But then what is coming out now from these modern mills is such that the rice can favorably compare with rice imported from other parts of the world.
Noting this new development, a number of states have approached the river basins and are forming strategic partnerships with them towards the realization of the agricultural programs of their states. Among this, you have the Anambra Imo River Basin working with the Imo State government on the Ada Rice Irrigation Project, which is in partnership between the state government and the PPP program. On the whole, all this point to a return of the river basin authorities to playing a strong and pivotal role in the growth of agriculture and economic development of Nigeria.
If you look at the River Basin Development Authorities and what they are supposed to do, you find out that it's a wonderful program by the federal government, because it's supposed to fix these kinds of problems that are relating to water issues, that are relating to agriculture. If they are funded 100% and they are funded well and managed well, I think it will go a long way to improving agriculture in Nigeria. And as we are talking now about the agricultural transformation agenda, issues relating to water is very, very important, and I feel that they will play a very pivotal role in improving what we have.
In terms of arable land, Nigeria has a huge amount of arable land available for cultivation. I believe the figure is about 34 million hectares that can be actually cultivated for cropping. But in terms of irrigation, about 1/10 of that, 3.4 million hectares, is available in terms of potential for irrigation development. Within the River Niger and River Benue valleys in Nigeria, we have a potential for irrigation of about 1.8 million hectares of land. Now, if we are able to develop all that area under irrigation, Nigeria will not only become a food self-sufficient country, but we will also become a major exporter of food. As a matter of fact, irrigating that 1.8 million hectares will not only produce food to feed the whole of Nigeria, but will also feed the whole of the sub-region.
The future is bright for Nigeria in the sense that we would be self-sufficient in terms of food production. There will be food security. There will be more jobs being created. And so that would greatly reduce the level of unemployment in our country, and that the products that we produce in terms of agri products would favorably compare with those produced in other parts, and so our export of agri products would also increase, and then we would also have a healthier population because they have enough to eat, and they also have good water to drink and to use, because in developing all these facilities, we would also be developing the water sector to support the agricultural production and other industrial activities in Nigeria.
Across Nigeria, from the coastal riverine areas through the mangrove swamps to the evergreen rainforest and the derived savanna in the north, there is hardly any part of Nigeria that cannot be suitably used for one form of agricultural activity or the other. Increasingly, hope rises for the realization of the government's irrigation action plan. This would have reduced high levels of instability in crop and livestock production and boost development in the country. Although oil accounts for 90% of the nation's revenue, it contributes only 10% to the country's gross domestic product, GDP. Agriculture, on the other hand, contributes over 40% to the country's GDP, employing more than 60% of Nigerians. This renewed drive to regenerate the river basins is a step in the right direction, one that will most definitely lead to true transformation across Nigeria.